Beg your pardon? Meredith, who is this coarse person with the foreign accent?
And good morning, everyone. This is the Talking Ass again. Apologies for the late release of the episode, but it's because we had a really exciting event, and we had a field correspondent with a report from that event live. So she's gonna call in a moment. Until she does, this is the Talking Ass. You can click the link in the description, subscribe, share, do all the internet buttons, buy me a coffee, whatever. And now, calling in from the field like a proper remote radio programming, Sylvia.
Out there in the
Welcome.
field, wrestling.
I fought for my meals, I believe, but you haven't been fighting for your meals. You had a substantial grant from the Talking Ass Productions to go out and report to us from the solar eclipse of the heart.
Agreed.
I had to say that. Solar eclipse of the heart.
Yeah, actually on the radio today they were like, which song would you like? And one of them was solar eclipse of the heart, like that, like you just did. So you're not the first to think of it. I really did though. I did go and see it, and I checked in with the sun and the moon every couple of moments, you know, and it was great. It was like I had the goggles, well, the glasses, you know, they were short stock. Everyone else had not thought of it early. I was a geek enough to think of it early. But then you know what, Danny, the offer. Don't worry if you don't have glasses. Just look at this silhouette on a piece of paper through a hole in a piece of cardboard. That's not the same. And I do understand that the glasses aren't the same either, but you're not really going to see the eclipse unless you wear the glasses or this colander thing or the paper, but those ones are really like, that takes the magic. At least you feel like you're looking at it with the glasses on. And yeah, it looks like, okay, the sun is fully round, which you always imagine being a little bit more like the way you draw it.
I do feel like they are just making those things, the special eclipse glasses, in the same Chinese factories where they make all the other shit that they sell on Amazon, and trusting my eyesight into the hands of these things was a very scary experience.
When you look for it, you have to find one with ISO 12312-2 standard, and I did that, even though that sounds so fake.
Yeah.
Could have come up with a couple more numbers than 123, couldn't they?
Yeah. How was it? Because I'll tell you what I did during the eclipse. I took the opportunity to, I don't know, we've been complaining on the show enough about the heat wave, but the level that it's been at in Britain is that like dogs have to go for their evening walks at like 11 p.m. so they don't pant themselves to death out there. And during the eclipse, it was actually lovely outside for a moment. So you could just take your dog out at a normal hour and, you know, go out on the village high street to see the shops and shit. And I saw some hoodlums out there, but none of the eclipse rioting was going on, you know? You know how there's always in the movies during an eclipse there's rioting and crime, isn't there?
Go too loudly in the eclipse.
Yeah. Or they just take advantage of an event of a few minutes when everyone's staring at the sky to commit robberies and other crimes.
I don't know why it was called partial, because, just to talk about this, because it did go very quickly, which might be why it's called partial, but it went through the whole process of complete cover and then out the other side.
Yep. It was certainly full enough that you could have convinced me that it was a full one. I remember when I was a kid, maybe you remember this too, there was a totally unique eclipse that it would take thousands of years before it happens again, or whatever, blah, blah, blah. And since then, there's been some kind of eclipse every year, and through those goggles, they all look the same. So,
well, you're being weird about it. They don't all look the same. You haven't bothered with the goggles, and you probably wouldn't if you didn't borrow some from some kind, attractive, beautiful person.
As what was your location as our eclipse field reporter? What was your location to watch it? What kind of place was it? Were you alone, or were there other people who had figured out the same spot
Firstly, I
already?
went to my garden because it was showing clear enough. And then when the sun started to set, I went out to the plains, and there weren't as many cars on the street, and I only saw one group of YPs, young people, but otherwise people seem to be coming or going from maybe. However, my Central Europe correspondent said that when they got their goggles out because of the shortage, their neighbours borrowed them. All of the neighbours borrowed them.
I heard we got it better than Barcelona. We got it better than, as you said, all our European correspondents of the Talking Ass have reported much more partial eclipses. That we in southern England actually got like a pretty full experience.
Yeah.
Did you know? Speaking of solar eclipse. Wait, this was a partial eclipse of the sun. Did you know that I met Bonnie Tyler once?
Did you know she died recently?
Yes, of course. Us, her closest friends, us who have met her, we all, are very saddened by that. People like us who have met her were extra sad compared to people like you who haven't met her. Couldn't be
as sad as you, could I, ever? I don't think.
No. By the way, speaking of trauma, no, wait, I'll tell the traumatic story in a moment. Speaking of the Sun, first of all, did you know? Well, the Sun is a shit newspaper, and so is the Economist. And we finally, speaking of the Sun, we beat the Economist, our rival podcast, with a heatwave update, and ours came up. Our stats about the heatwave came out a day before theirs.
Oh,
so for those who don't know, we've had a long-running rivalry with the Economist's one of their podcasts that keeps stealing our topics and our guests and our overall our research and everything, and we finally beat them. So that's a big moment, actually. Yeah. Speaking of traumatic experiences, I went to the doctor the other day, and for those who don't know, well, if you're watching me on video right now, you might have noticed some changes, but I've had a dramatic weight loss, right? I just quit everything pretty much cold turkey a while back. But booze, bad food, whatever, started getting sexy again, or healthy, but also sexier. And I went to the doctor and I was like, hey, can you just do like certain tests that I had some weird values from the past in the record? Can we check whether anything has gotten better? And he looked at me and he's like, oh, wow, you're like a different person. And yeah, well done. And what do you do every day? Like, how do you keep up like with the workouts every day? How do you do it? All of this. And then we got to the end. He ordered some new blood tests and stuff to check that everything's going to be fine now that I've lost the weight. And it comes to the point where, doctors have to write the report of what happened. And the whole story of someone like turning around their life and quitting like all these substances and all this junk food and everything. He just wrote like 4 words. Has managed to lose weight. 5 words. I watched him write it. And I just started laughing. I was like, hey, do you think that's like an accurate reflection of the whole conversation we just had? It's like, has managed to lose weight, feels well.
Complete lifestyle change. Manage.
Yeah. But there's a serious point there, I guess, because if doctors are lazy about what they write in your actual record, it can affect your like insurance payouts or something. Like, let's say I have a travel insurance thing. Something happens while I'm traveling. I go to a local expensive tourist hospital and then I have to claim the money. And I have ticked the box that says when I buy the insurance that I am a generally healthy person. But they go back to the records of when I was much more overweight than I am now. And they say, no. Like, this kind of weight is an underlying condition. You lied to us. And this is like, we're not going to pay out. You see what I mean? Like, if they're lazy about writing that I'm healthy, then it could affect my life, doesn't it?
If I don't know whether they can actually properly access it. Yeah, they can't access it without your consent.
I guess, yeah.
I still believe
All
in
right.
that. And secondly, you said like a range of substances. They weren't illegal ones.
Yeah. Before we go to our weekly Torah portion, which is very topical, our weekly bit of learning. Every week we learn something, whether it's from a guest or from my weird rabbit holes or rants. Got some feedback. Oh, here from YouTube, I wanted to give a very special welcome to Heel Hook Hoopla, who is a new listener who went to high school in Coeur d'Alene that we talked about last week. Found our show through there, so welcome to him or her or them, they, zer, xenon, whatever the words are. There's a zer and a xenon, I'm sure. Here is also feedback from Joe. Enjoyed your latest episode. I've been to Coeur d'Alene multiple times as my aunt lives there. It's absolutely stunning. Another fun fact about the area. All right, we got a new fact that we didn't cover. The U.S. Navy maintains a specialized acoustic research and submarine testing facility in northern Idaho near Lake Pendoray in Bayview, roughly 30 miles north of Coeur d'Alene. Known as the Acoustic Research Detachment, this installation operates on a landlocked mountain lake because its deep, cold, and calm waters closely mimic ideal ocean acoustic conditions for testing submarine stealth and propulsion.
Wow.
Okay. Several questions here, Joe. Why? I understand. Cool story, and thank you very much for that, because we now have two people who wrote in that they have personal connections to Coeur d'Alene and that it's a stunning, beautiful place. I believe you. Why does a deep, cold, and calm water of a landlocked lake in the mountains resemble any of the environments that these submarines are going to be used in? Because they're they're going to be used in the ocean, aren't they?
Sea, they're not going to be experiencing rough seas, are they? That's more near the top. And secondly, are you allowed to tell us about this secret submarine lair?
We operate under the principle that if we know about it, it can't be that secret. You know, that we're not going to be causing any major damage by divulging something, right? Can't be. Other than some all right, we may have like friends of the show in some industries that could like talk about something with me privately, just gossip in a pub, but we wouldn't share that. Anyway, you ready to learn something?
Yeah.
Okay. So this week's learning portion is a topic that's very close to my heart, and it's perfect for solar eclipse week because it has to do with darkness and light, and it has to do with night owls. Now, I have been for my whole life much, much, much more efficient at night than I am in the mornings. I've always hated mornings. And everyone always says, oh, grow up, like real adults. They get up in the morning and they get on with it. And they blah, blah, blah. It doesn't even matter how many hours I've slept. Waking up later, I will have a better day, even if I've slept fewer hours. True story. And here's the thing. I'm not the only one. I meet people constantly who agree with me. And it is one of the most historically discriminated against groups of people on the planet that nobody ever talks about. Because listen, for centuries, for millennia, all of society has been, obviously due to agriculture and daylight, has been pitted against night owls who are more effective in darkness and late at night. Like I will get way more done between 11 p.m. and 1 a.m. than I can ever do between 7 and 9 a.m., for example. Like, it's just a thing. Even now, I've corrected my lifestyle. I don't eat shit anymore. I exercise every day and I sleep a bit better. Still, I hate mornings just as much. It is not my fault. It's something I've always been like it. And I know others who have too. Before I read any like stats or research, you have any initial thoughts, Sylvia? Which one are you?
I've always been a night owl. I would perk up at like 10 p.m. But I'm trying to embrace the morning because I could still fully fully oversleep at a much far too old age. So I had hoped that I'd grow out of it, and I'm kind of gradually getting there, but I'm still not like some people are like 6, 7 a.m.ers, and I won't unless my body's told to wake up. I'd like to be more like that.
Listen, same. I've never, like, in principle, I've always wanted to. Like, let me get up at 7, be on an atom, and, like, let's go to sleep at 7 p.m. too. Like, let's have a 12-hour day from 7 to 7, like some kind of Mormon in the 16th century. Whatever. I don't think they existed yet, by the way, Mormons then. But my point is, nowadays, there's nobody's in agriculture anymore. Most things in society shouldn't be organized against night owls anymore. Like, the normal office hours is just from agriculture. Like, there's no reason why half the office couldn't, as a standard, start at 10 and end at 6 or 7 p.m. And night owls would be more productive if they got to choose that shift. In almost any work, this can be done, I think, pretty easily. And do you want to hear some stats that support
If you want
this?
to, but it's not going to happen.
Well, yeah, no, nothing's going to happen about this. I just think it's important, like, for our extremely oppressed group, and it's not the first oppressed group that I've claimed to be part of, by the way, in my life, but for this extremely oppressed and forgotten minority, or even, who knows, could be a majority of people, here are some stats. Night owls frequently outperform early birds on cognitive tests. In a large UK biobank study of over 26,000 people, evening types scored about 7.5 to 13.5% higher than morning types on measures of intelligence, reasoning, memory, and reaction time. So we are smarter, because one study quoted by whatever AI bot I used to summarize this research says so. Night owls are linked to higher creativity and divergent thinking. Studies associate evening preference with stronger original idea generation, visual creativity, and unconventional problem solving, traits often seen in artists, writers, and inventors who thrive in the quiet late hours. Shocking. Chronotype, which is a fancy word for whether you're a night owl or early bird, is a largely genetic and biological thing, not a lifestyle choice, like I just said, or a sign of laziness, like I've just proven, because I've been both lazy and a high achiever, both ambitious and not giving a fuck about life in my life in various periods. I've been a yo-yo and I've fluctuated, and it doesn't matter. I've still been a night owl throughout everything. Twin studies suggest genetics account for a substantial portion, around 50% of the variation, yet night owls are routinely stereotyped as undisciplined, immature, or lazy. It's horseshit, you know? Society obviously shows a clear bias against them. We've talked about this, the historical role of agriculture and daylight hours. And a lot of things you could obviously only do in daylight, especially before electric lights. So there's a reason for this. But there's some stigma, like there are some studies showing that people will associate night owl with bad and like criminal, dangerous, versus early bird with sort of happy and helpful and friendly, right?
Yeah.
That makes sense, Yeah. I mean, darkness and light, good versus evil, that makes sense. Night is always associated with danger. I'm not surprised by that. And night owls are rated by their peers as more lazy, unhealthy, and undisciplined, even when their output is identical or better. Meaning night owl students who are observed doing their work in the library at night are always considered weirdos. People who at work the night shift is considered weirdos, even though they just prefer to work then,
Yeah.
Of course, supervisors at work, same bias, rate night owls as less conscientious and lower performing, and so forth, right? So, schools schedule stacks against, because night owls don't start being so when they're adults. Kids are night owls too, and of course, schools are completely stacked against night owl kids.
Yeah.
Right? Early start times can lead to just poorer grades because these kids are not good at performing. Like for every other group we can think of, every 4 and 3 letter acronym in the dictionary and the Bible and outside of them, we give them special conditions in exams. We give every group a safe space and 65 hours to complete an exam. They used to take 3 hours, whatever, except the night owls. There is no such thing as special exam conditions for people who find it much easier to perform in the afternoon than in the morning. And okay. Executives and top management heavily skew early bird, while entry-level creative and service roles have far more night owls. Of course, because of all the reasons we just listed, is how everything's stacked against you if you're a night owl. So I hope I've made my point pretty clear. I am an advocate of the night owls. I'm happy to run for office on this platform. I think this is fairly something that everyone who's a night owl can jump on board. Will you support me in such an endeavor, Sylvia?
Just don't want
Why?
to.
Jesus, well, thanks. Thanks for being so supportive. Thanks. Tell you what, we might find ourselves another field reporter next week with this kind of enthusiasm for the ideas of the show.
I'm going to make a podcast called Chatting Donkey.
Right. Well, good luck with that. I have a fun, lighthearted factoid for our final bit on learning today. I have 2 animal facts. What do you know about cuscus?
No,
cuscus, what do you know?
Don't really like it.
Other than that Middle Eastern dish that white people are always culturally appropriating from our people. I'm choosing to be that people now. Middle Eastern people. This is a different cuscus though. Is a common name given to the species belonging to 4 genera of Australian possums. Australasian possums, sorry, in the family Phalangeridae. They're called Ailurops, Phalanger, Spilocuscus, and Strigocuscus. And they are really cute little possum-looking things. And there are several species of them, and there are lots of them. There's the blue-eyed spotted cuscus, which is really cute, critically endangered. Of course, all these things are fucking critically endangered, so go look at them. Look at pictures of cuscus. I'll pop one in the video as well. Hopefully there's been a couple of pictures of Sylvia's eclipse as well. In the video version, you'll see a picture of, I'll find the cutest possible one, but cuscus, learn about them now before they're all gone. They're animals. And Sylvia, I'll give you a word before I give my final.
Perseid. How do you
well done. Sylvia's public servant. This is like the 3rd stellar, star and sun related public service announcement in a row. So go ahead. Please proceed.
With your point about Perseid. Perseid's the shooting stars.
Shooting stars in the sky tonight or when?
Tonight. Same night as the eclipse, especially because it's a new moon, so there isn't any moonlight, which makes it darker.
Which is really fun because this will come out tomorrow, so nobody will hear it. So let's hope everyone enjoyed the Perseids, because this will have come out already, unfortunately. All right, I want to give you a final word. Do you know what a mustelid is? Mustelid? I'm not sure that's the pronunciation, but mustelid is a diverse family of carnivorous mammals, including weasels, badgers, otters, sea otters, polecats, martens, grisons, and wolverines. So all of those little mammalian bitey fuckers that run and swim really fast, they're mustelids.
Nice. Yeah.
right? Those weasel type things. Yeah. I did not know that word before, so we've all learned that. And cuscus are not mustelids. So, from this corrugated iron box in the middle of the sea, it's good night or drive safely from me. What does Sylvia want to say?
My science booth in the middle of Kazakhstan. Good night from me.
Now, if you enjoyed this episode of The Talking Ass, remember to rate, review, follow the show for more of this weirdness, and share. And with a friend, enemy, neighbor, relative, lover even. And press those goddamn internet buttons. Press them hard. Follow, all that jazz. See you next time.